Hello and welcome to episode number 13. This is Ashraf Jandali and this is the Lightroom and Photoshop tips. In this episode, I will be showing you a small portion of a course that I'm doing specifically about Lightroom. And this course name is Mastering Lightroom. Lightroom, for some people, they think it's just a matter of a software that it's for editing. But to be honest, it's really beyond than that. It's not only for editing, it's a way for you to be organized in dealing with your images. When you import your images, there are some certain things that you need to do to work efficiently, to work fast, and in the future to be able to find your images very easily. And in today's part, what I'm going to show you, that small portion, it's going to be talking about how to import your images and what you need to do when you import them. And I will be showing you how to do the selection of the images. Before we're gonna start or show you that video which I've recorded previously, I just want to highlight that I'm doing a course in UAE, Dubai, and this is about mastering Lightroom. This is going to talk about Lightroom just from A to Z, everything what is related to Lightroom. I will be starting in what is the reason of dealing with Lightroom. Why do we need Lightroom? How to import your images, do the selection, do your editing, exporting all your images to a different softwares. It's gonna be like extremely informative, and you will be very confident in using Lightroom once you finish this course. The numbers and information is available in front of you right now. Please note down the numbers if you would like to register for this course if you are somehow available in Dubai. So let's get started. Alright, now it's time to talk about the library module and how to get all our images. Let's say, for example, we went to a shoot, we've got some images, and now we want to get these images inside our computer and start doing our editing. The first thing that we have to work on is our library the library module. Now, in the library module is the place where we're going to import all our images. But remember, all our images are going to sit on or inside our catalog. Now, there are different ways to create catalogs. Let's say, for example, we want to create a new catalog right now. I have my Lightroom icon, and it's gonna be the same thing with the Windows. Now, by pressing the Alt key or the Option key in Mac, and which I'm doing right now, I'm pressing the Option key, and then I will open the Lightroom. Now, once I do that, it is going to tell me that I have those different catalogs on my computer. Okay, right now I'm working on something called training, and this is what I have named it for the sake of this training. Now, if I want to create a new catalog, all I have to do is click on create new catalog and then name it whatever name I would like to have for that catalog, and then I will choose the location where this catalog is going to exist. Okay, now the place where you're gonna put this catalog, either on your desktop or on your external drive, wherever you want, it's not gonna make any difference. So I'm not gonna do that because I'm gonna work on the training catalog which I have created before. Now, again, even if you want not to create a catalog, you just want to open a different catalog. I do have, let's say, for example, this catalog, which, it has some different type of work which I have. I can open this. So once I click on this and then I click on open, I will be working on that different catalog. But now I will be working on the training catalog, and that's what I'm gonna open. The same thing which you can do if, for example, Lightroom is open, you can open a different catalog inside Lightroom itself. So for example, you can go for file, either you can create a new catalog, the same thing, or you can open a new catalog. Okay, now let's say we were in a shoot and we came back with 10 images, 100 images, 300 images, whatever. Now, the way you need to do it is that you have to grab your SD card, you will put it in your computer, and don't deal with Lightroom to take your images from your SD card. We don't prefer that because it's a bit slow. It's the best scenario is to copy all your images to your external drive. That's what we have agreed on doing. Having an external drive, don't store your images on your computer itself. Now, those images will be copied again on the way that I taught you as your workflow. You will have your folder named by your date, the customer, if it's a customer, or the location, the type of location, and then the type of photography, it's landscape, wedding, whatever. Now, once this is copied in your external hard disk, then only you will open your Lightroom and then you will start importing. And that's what I'm going to do now. Inside the library module, I will be going to the import. Once I click on the import, now Lightroom is asking me, where are your images? Okay, now I do have some images somewhere here, which I'm going to import. Now, as you can see from the left side, this is exactly my hard disk. This is my existing hard disk that I have. And in the middle side is my images that are going to be imported. Since there is a tick mark, that means this image will be imported. Now, there are some options. Either I can say add, that's mean it's just gonna keep the images in its place wherever they are existing on the external drive, and they are just going to be added into the catalog of Lightroom. I can move them, I can copy them, or I can copy all the images and at the same time convert them to DNG files. Now, what you should know about DNG files, they are raw files, but not like the files that comes out of the cameras. Nikon has its own RAW extension. Canon has also its own RAW extension. But the DNG is something like universal. So if you convert your images which are coming out from the camera, you can convert them to DNG file, and that's going to be a universal type of file which can be opened anywhere. But we are not going to do that at that stage. We may do it at the final stage. So right now we will be using the add, and in here we have an option called the render preview. Now that's very important for a one reason is that if I am using the one-to-one, what does this do? It will create a preview of an image, and whenever I will have an image and I zoom inside that image, I will get the zoom immediately. The Lightroom doesn't have to process the image for it to give me that zoom. If I did use the minimal, that's gonna give me only the the shape of the image, or how the image looks like. But if I want to go deep inside the image by zooming inside it, Lightroom has to do some kind of calculation. So this will take some time. And there are some cases where I need to check the image immediately. I want to know if the image is sharp or not sharp. This is going to help us when we are choosing our images. So for the sake of this tutorial, I'm not going to import all these images as one-to-one render preview. I'm going to use the minimal, so that will import the images much more faster. Okay, and I will be using some of the images, not all of them. So I will uncheck all of them, and I will choose the images that I want to import. So what I will be doing, I will import some images as a minimal render preview, and some other I'm gonna import them with the one-to-one. So you will see the difference when, let's say for example, I want to zoom into that image. So you will see how fast it will be when you are using the render preview, the one-to-one render preview. Okay, I think that's enough. Now, after going through the render preview, and as I said, I prefer you use the one-to-one. Okay, now in Lightroom 5, there's something called build a smart preview. What does this do? Building a smart preview will give you the ability to work on your images inside Lightroom even though your hard disk does not exist, your external hard disk does not exist. Let's say, for example, your hard disk exists at your house and you want to take your laptop to your office and do some retouching and work on your images in your office. You don't want to take your hard disk with you. That is possible if you build a smart preview from the beginning. If this is there, you are simply just going to unplug your hard disk, keep it at home, take your computer to your office and do whatever work you want to do to your images. So once you you go back home and you plug your hard disk back, things are going to work 100%. So you have to remember, if you do such kind of stuff, you have to build a smart preview. Okay, now what you need to know about, there is an option here that says that don't import suspected duplicates. There may be duplicates in the name which Lightroom will detect and it will not import. And now in this section in here, the applying during import. Now, one of the things that can be applied during the import is a preset. If, for example, you have a certain setting that you have created somewhere, like it makes a black and white image and it adds some coloring to it, like a sepia kind of tone, that itself you can apply it while the image is getting imported. So all you have to do is click in here. If you have a certain preset, let's say here Lightroom has some default presets, you can create a black and white, effect with a green filter. So once you click on that, all the images that are gonna be imported, they're gonna have this effect, which definitely we're not gonna do that now. So we'll just choose none. And in the metadata is an extremely important thing to create. Why? Because it does contain who is the photographer, what is your number, what is your email, all kind of details which is related to you. You can create them in here. Now by default this does not exist because that's the one which I created. You can create a new. Once you click on new, now in here you can choose what are the information you want to have. Now mainly it's in here, which is the IPTC copyright. You will start entering your name, the creator, who's the photographer. You can put your email, your website, what type of copyright is going to be, all kind of information that you want to have in your image in the metadata. So the value of this is that if your image reaches the web pages or any website, if the person takes that image and read its metadata, he will know who's the owner of that image and he will have your number or your contact details to be able to reach you. So that will have a really big value. So once you finish entering the fields that you will require to add, you can just create or click on create. That will have your metadata created. And last thing in here, we have something which is called the keywords. Keywords are exactly like tags. It's a place where you will add some words about the image. In this case, like, be careful, this is something general. We are not taking specific each and every image by itself. We are talking about all those images. For example, those images were shot in 2013. They were shot in Jordan, and they are like offices, decor. These are general words. They describe these images in general. So this is the kind of keywords you can add in this field. Now once you are done, all you have to do is create import. Now as you remember, I told you I will import some images with the minimal render preview, just to show you what's the difference between the minimal and the one-to-one. And those two things are something like in between. The fastest is one-to-one and the lowest is the minimal. So these images which I've selected, I will import them as the minimal. And now I'll go back to the import and I will import some different images with the render preview one-to-one. So I'll choose the folder and now I'll go somewhere down and uncheck that. I will be going through, let's say, choose this image and this image as well as that image, and I will choose this time the one-to-one render preview, and that's it. Now I will click on import. Now my images right now are inside the catalog, and as you can see, it will take a bit of time doing the rendering. That's what it's doing right now. That's why it will take some time. So mainly when you import all your images, you will click on one-to-one and you just leave it. You go have a cup of coffee, you take some time, and then you can come back and you will find your images ready for you. Now, as you can see, these are the total number of images inside my catalog. Okay, the new ones which I've imported and the old two ones which were there before. So these are the total of images that I have. If I have to get some more details, where are those images? I will have like 10 of them are into the working on folder, which I've created somewhere in an my hard disk, and the low resolution folder which also exists somewhere that contains those two images. So this is the place where you will get the information about your images. Where do they exist on the hard disk? Now, my images are almost ready to start working on them. Now, let's get back to my images which I have imported them recently. Now remember that those first images were with the render of the minimal. See, now this image, it's giving me loading. Now it's loading for some reason. It needs to read from the image and then it gives me how sharp is that image. Where the images that have the one-to-one render, let's say for example this one, see now, by the way, I just double click, so it gave me immediately the zoom without having that loading kind of thing. If I will come here, double click, now I'll click on the zoom, immediately it gave me the zoom without showing that loading kind of stuff. So that will take time, especially when I want to go through my images and trying to see if the images are sharp or not. Alright, now it's time to do the selection. Now after we have all our images ready, now it's time to select our images. Now I've added some more pictures for the sake of the selection for it to be understandable much more. Now we have all those images that I've came from a certain shoot. Now those images needs to be selected. You need to go to each and every image to see if those images, will you require all of them or you may require some of them. Now the way that normally we do our selection is that we will go to each and every image and then we will go next and next and so on. You keep on going through such kind of way and just checking each and every image, which is totally wrong. This is a wrong way of doing the selection. Now, as you can see now, we have a group of photos that almost look the same. They are almost related to the same scene. So these are the images that I want to select all of them. I will click on the first image and then go through the last one. What I have done is that I kept pressing the shift key and then I clicked on the last image. This had selected all of them. Now remember, when we had our quick tour, is that when I told you that there is something called the survey view. Okay, now the view which is right now we are on something called the loop view. Now the loop view will show you only one image at the same time, but the survey mode is gonna show you all the images that are selected in one place. So either clicking on this icon or you can simply press the letter N. That is gonna show me all the images that are selected in here. Now for me to remove those side panels, all I have to do is click on this arrow and then go to this arrow, click on them. That will take out the side panels for me to have much more room to work on. And the easiest way to do that is just press the tab key. Once you click on the tab key, those two sides all together will go to the and they will be hidden. Now I have more room to see my 6 images which I can see in front of me. Now, by moving through the arrows, I can scroll through or hover through the images. Now, once I'm on a certain image, now I can either exclude it from the selection or keep it in the selection. Now, let's say, for example, this image is flat, I don't like it, I want to remove it from the selection. All I have to do is either use my mouse and click on that X, or I can just simply press the /. Once I click on the /, that image, as you can see down here, it has been excluded from the selection. And now this image, which is, by the way, you can see that there is a white border on the image. This means that this is the image which is selected now. Now that image which is on the left side, this is very, very bright. I don't like it. I will click on the /. It has been excluded from the selection. The same thing, this image over here, I don't like it. Remove it from the selection. This image is again very bright. I will remove it from the selection, and this is dark. I will remove it from the selection. Now I have only one image which I like. I want to pick it up. How do you pick any image? It's just simply by pressing the P key, which is pick. Letter P will do the pick. And now it's time for you to decide what is the value of this image. It is by applying a certain stars, a certain rating to this image. Now this is your feeling. This is how you feel about this image. Either you can give it 1 star or you can give it 5 stars. Now, for example, this is not that very important image for me, so I may give it only 1 star. To give it 1 star, you will just press the number 1. By pressing the number 1, you will be giving this image 1 star, as you can see in here. Here you can see that once we have pressed the number 1, which is in here, you will be able to see that the star has appeared, and in here the flag has appeared. Okay, now I can come back to my grid mode. The grid mode is by pressing the G. The letter G will give me the grid mode, and now I am back to my grid view. You can see right now all those images are not being picked up. Only this image is picked up by having the flag and the star. I'm done with this side or this group of images. Now again, I will have another group of images by pressing on the first one, shift, and then the other images. If you want less, you can choose less. If you want more, you can use more. And now I'll press N. And now I am seeing all my 8 images together. Now out of all these images, I can see, like, for example, this image does not interest me. I will have the /. This image is fine. And by the way, if you want to zoom inside your image, all you have to do is press the space key or double click on your image. And then you will press the space key again, and that will give you the 100% zoom for you to check if your image is sharp enough to be accepted. And remember, the reason we were getting this loading is because I did not make the one-to-one render once I've done my importing. If I've chosen the one-to-one render, I will not be getting this delay in showing me how sharp is my image. If I click on the image or press space, that will take me back to the normal zoom. And if I press now the escape, this will take me back to the survey view. I've seen this image is sharp, it's okay, I will keep it, but still I would just want to check the other images. Now this image does not really interest me. I will click on the /. This image is good because that's the only one that describes this section, so I'm gonna keep it. Okay, and I'm gonna keep that image. I'm gonna, let's say for example, remove this one, and I'm satisfied with all these images. Now simply by coming to each and every image, I can say P. So I will pick this image, okay, and I can assign a star or rating. I like this image, so I'll give it 2 stars. This image is also picked up. I will click on P and I'll give it 1 star, and so on. I will go through the way I'm gonna pick my images, and I will just choose them and give them the rate. And one more thing you have to know, that there is not only rating, there is also a color tag that you can give your image. Now remember, from 1 to 5 was rating the image with 1 star to 5 stars. Now we have the 6, 7, 8, 9 and 0. Now for example, if I have this image and I want to remove all the stars from that image, all I have to do is just press the number 0. This will remove all the stars from the image. Now for example, I want to add a color tag to this image. Now color tag will be useful in one of the in so many ways. One of them is that if I give an image or several images a red tag, I can say to myself, red tag means take them to Photoshop, they will require some extra editing. If I use the blue, for example, tag, I can say like those images have some, I don't know, like some spots which needs to be removed inside Lightroom itself. So it's up to you to decide what does the color mean to you. So by pressing, let's say for example, the number 6, this will add a red tag to the image. You can see now we have a red tag, icon in here. This indicates that this has a red tag. If I press 7, this will give a yellow tag, 8 will give a green tag, and then finally the number 9 will give a blue tag. If you press the number again, this will remove the color tag from it. So now I've chosen all these images, and now I can come back to my grid mode by pressing the letter G. And I will keep on going through all my images until I choose the ones I will be required to be in my collection, or for them to be selected or not. So once we finish from the selection, is then only we will be going to the next step.